In this video, we're going to hear from each of our staff members, and they're all going to give you a quick tip to get your season off to a good start. Hi everyone, David Franks here from the Calabasas Golf Academy. I'm the Director of Instruction here, and this video is for the Ladies Club at Calabasas Country Club. Let's hear from our player development specialist, Tim Galvin, with a tip on wedge play and also addressing the ball when it's above your feet.
Giving a quick tip on how to use some of the bounce of your golf club on your wedges. What we want to do is make sure we're going to lead with the heel of the club into the ground rather than the toe of the club. If I lead with the heel, we'll get a nice good strike of the turf and allow that face to stay nice and flat on the way through. If I lead with the toe, I'm going to get caught into the ground. We're going to end up picking the club up off the ground, and we're going to be sculling it and moving the ball off direction. What we like to do is nice good backswing with a little open face, lead with the heel, strike the surface, and hold the finish. So here's a couple in action. Right here I have a lie that is going to be a little bit of an angle where the ball is above my feet. In order to counter that, I'm going to let the shaft lean a little lower so that toe rises in the air. That's going to allow me to initiate that heel first into the ground, get a nice good shot with some nice good backspin on the way through. We'll see that again. Again, if I have the handle too perpendicular straight up and down, that toe is going to get caught in the ground. So we're going to lay it down a little bit, let that toe stick up, lead with the heel, nice good strike, and a nice good finish.
Let's now hear from lead instructor Casey Lum from his home, teaching us how to control the speed of our putts better.
Avoiding three putts. I think putting is one of the best ways that you can lower your scores. And the best way to do that when you putt is to control your speed. It's one thing to be able to control the line of the putt and be able to read the green, but once you start being able to get that ball close to the hole on your first putt, that's what's ultimately going to make it easier to make your second putt and avoid the three putt. And what I see out of a lot of people is they tend to use their wrist, and they have these different variables in their putting stroke that make their putting a little inconsistent. It makes them hit it on the heel of the putter face or the toe, and that affects their speed. It also speeds up the putter from time to time, and they end up hitting it way too far past the hole. So one thing I like to do, you can even practice this in the comfort of your home. You don't even need a putter for this one. You can just put your putter down. And what I like to do as an exercise and as a feel is I will put my palms together and I will go ahead and take a putting stance and a stroke. What I like to do is just try to keep my head really steady, and I'm looking to try to take the wrist out of the stroke here. I'm keeping my palms nice and firm and together, and I'm just rocking my shoulders. So the head will stay really still, and I'll have the sensation of the shoulders going. And then when I go ahead and I go back to the putter, I'm gonna have that same feel. I'm gonna go ahead and take my grip. I'm gonna keep my head down. And my putt and my stroke is gonna be really controlled by my shoulders. And what I find that does is it keeps the putter head really stable, and you'll start hitting it with much better speed because you're gonna start to hit it right here in the center of the putter face. I hope it goes well for you. Thanks, take care.
Let's hear from our golf performance coach, Carl Smith, on an alternative to chipping when you're greenside.
Putting from off the green. Hi, I'm Carl Smith, golf performance coach here at the Calabasas Golf Academy. I'm here today to talk about maybe some other options when just off the green. So we're talking about a distance from maybe 5 feet or less from the green's edge. And the default would be to go reach for a wedge and maybe end up not hitting the best chip shot. So let me give you a couple options. First and favorite option would be the putter. no shame in just giving it a little tap just from off the edge of the green. Now there would be cases where maybe the rough is too long and the putter wouldn't be the best option other than trying to chip it. And our next option would be one of your hybrids. And let me give you a little example of what that would look like. It would be a very similar stroke to your putting stroke. Ball position is going to be about in the middle of your stance. It's going to be a pretty narrow stroke. You can go ahead and take your regular grip or your putting grip, either one really. And then from there, it's just going to be just the tiniest little stroke. And like I said, this is going to be from 5 feet, from about 5 feet off the green, where the rough maybe isn't too long. And try it out. Hopefully save yourself some shots.
The importance of having properly fit equipment. I'm here with Callaway certified club fitter from the Calabasas Golf Academy, Chris French. Can you help us understand what you see when you're at the range? You get to see a lot of players practicing near you as you're doing fittings. You get to see a lot of players coming to you for the first time, inquiring about equipment. What opportunities do people have to improve just through changing their equipment?
So generally speaking, what I see at the range here at Calabasas is a lot of players are not hitting clubs they're properly fit for. They're either too stiff or they're too heavy, and it's just not made for their swing speed in particular.
Okay. And what sort of difficulty can that cause for a player if it's too heavy, for example?
They're going to have a tough time making consistent contact, good contact, getting the ball in the air high enough to be able to stop it on our greens.
Mm-hmm. And I know that one thing that most players are interested in is hitting the ball farther.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm sure that that's a factor as well when something's really, way too heavy for them, moving it faster. It doesn't seem like they can hit it nearly their full potential.
Yeah, absolutely. Generally speaking, the lighter the club, the quicker you're gonna swing it, and the more distance you're gonna get. Obviously, we want to maximize dispersion. We don't want you hitting it all over the golf course, but the lighter the shaft, lighter the head, the quicker you're gonna swing it, and the more distance you're gonna get off the tee.
Absolutely. And what about flex? I know that there's a lot of talk about shaft flex, and sometimes, I know I've seen my students with a regular flex shaft, and I've come to find out that many of my students don't know that that's not the right shaft. So can you explain what the flex of the shaft is for? Why are people swinging different clubs?
So it's just the flex of the shaft is made to match your specific swing speed. So slower swing speeds, the shaft is going to flex more. It's going to help you get it in the air easier. And faster speeds, you need a stiffer flex. So it doesn't flex as much. You're still, with your speed, you're still going to hit it in the air, but you're not going to hit it too far left or right all the time.
Okay, great. And then, a major factor is also height. There's players of all different heights, and how can that play a part in club fitting?
Yeah, so we see this across the board from juniors all the way up to people who have been playing the game their whole life. They've never been fit for the correct length of club they need, so they might have clubs that are too long, so they have to really bend over, get really far away from the ball so they can actually hit it properly. And then if it's too short, they're having to really stand up close to the ball so they can get the club in a proper position to hit it. So getting fit for the correct length just allows you to get set up properly.
Another thing that I've noticed is sometimes people play golf regularly with the same friends, and I noticed that they try one another's equipment and think, oh, that driver's working well for you, so it should work well for me. Can you speak to that?
Well, everyone swings differently. So something a friend of yours is playing for a driver, for instance, might be good for their swing speed and the way they set up to the ball, but probably not exact for your swing and speed and the way you set up to the ball. So it's always best to get fit, get properly fit, so you have clubs that are going to maximize your game and your enjoyment.
Wonderful. And I think that's the bottom line is having equipment that fits you as an individual is very, very important. And that's exactly, why we offer club fitting here. And Chris is a wonderful resource for you to be able to go through that process. And bottom line, just test what you're currently playing against what's available. And I know Chris well, and he wouldn't sell you something or ask you to make a change unless it's going to benefit you.
The biggest thing is just if you're struggling with your game, maybe schedule a fitting, come out and get fit. We'll see if the clubs are correct for you with shaft, head, grip, the whole thing through your bag, and hopefully it'll improve your game.
As in most years, manufacturers are coming out with new equipment, and this year is no different, but we've got some exciting equipment this year here from Callaway, and I just want to give Chris the opportunity to give you the technology breakdown, what they've done that makes it so special, especially for ladies this year.
Yeah, specifically for ladies, late last year, Callaway came out with the Big Bertha Riva line. So these are clubs they've put a lot of research and design money into figuring out exactly how to make the clubs correct for lady golfers in particular. So the shafts are lighter, the heads are lighter. A lot of time what you'll see other manufacturers do is they'll put a lighter women's flex shaft in a head that's not necessarily the right weight in the head. So Callaway's pretty much made the head lighter, the shaft lighter, the grip lighter and smaller to fit, generally speaking, ladies.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they've done it with the irons, the driver, woods, hybrids. They've made the hybrids all the way up to an 8 hybrid. So if you're someone who struggles with irons, you can look at maybe swapping them out for hybrids all the way up to an 8 hybrid.
They just make the game so much easier, don't they?
They do. They're just easier to get in the air. And as everyone knows here at Calabasas, we have a lot of elevated greens. You got to hit the ball nice and high. So maybe switching to hybrids, getting the ball on the green is going to be a lot easier.
Wonderful. And I know that they've used the artificial intelligence supercomputer. They have this multi-million-dollar computer that they've used for the last several years in designing their new equipment. Can you speak to the specifics just for the tech nerds out there?
The AI component to the clubs is the same head design, the jailbreak technology, all the same technology that you'll see in the Maverick, in the new Epic Speed. It's all in the Riva line, so they haven't skimped on technology with the ladies clubs. It's still in here. It's still made to get maximum distance, maximum height. So
great. And who doesn't want more distance? Cool. Well, it was great talking with you, Chris. Thanks a lot for your contribution here.
Thank you.
And we'll look forward to seeing how you can help all the members out here at the club. How to hit the ball farther. Everybody's going to have their own unique distance, and it's usually dependent on how solid you strike the ball and how fast you can swing the club. Your speed is unique to you, but we want to see what we can do to maximize your potential. So I know you've been told when you mishit a ball that you should swing softer or swing easier, and generally that gives you a little more control over your club and your body, and you make better contact, and that's why the ball's going farther. But once you can make solid contact and you believe you're going to make solid contact, we'd like to swing the club as fast as you possibly can while staying in balance. That's a little bit different than what you generally hear, but I want you to try it. So I'm going to give you 2 drills to help you increase your speed and make better contact. Okay? The first one, I'm going to use an alignment stick, and I could just as easily turn my golf club around and hold it upside down so that I'm letting the grip end swing. I'm going to swing above the ground, and the idea is to get a sense of how much speed I'm creating by hearing an audible whoosh. Okay, so if you first take this swing and most of your energy is spent near the golf ball and not much is beyond it into a full finish, you're going to hear maybe no whoosh or maybe a very quiet whoosh. Okay, as you get better at this, I want you to be able to do 2 things. Hear the whoosh over here towards the target at the front of the golf ball, and ideally you would be able to transfer all of your weight to your front foot and finish with your back foot pointed. When you put it all together, you'll start to hear the sound of this stick or your golf club making a louder whoosh. You can hear it out in front of you, okay? And I want you to slowly and gradually start to pick up the speed. Of course, just disclaimer, do this once your body's already warm so you don't go out there when you're very cold and make an aggressive swing, because I don't want you to pull a muscle or hurt anything. But let's get warmed up, and then we'll start to swing it. And we're going to just try to make that sound as fast as you can. Okay? For those of you who are a little stronger, you might even just do it with your trail hand only. And this really makes sure that I finish completely. Here I am with my body facing the target, my pelvis and my upper torso facing the target, and that club has finished all the way up and over my shoulder. Okay? Every mile per hour counts. And if you can just increase your own club speed 3, 4, 5 miles an hour, that's going to translate to a serious difference in your distance. Okay, so that's part one. We want to move the club faster, but of course it is important that we make contact with the golf ball. So then you've got to get your club, and what I see most commonly is that people mishit the ball off of the low part of the club, because the sole of the club doesn't actually reach the ground. And if you can see here, you know, if I don't make any interaction with the ground, maybe I'm a little shy to take a divot, or I don't feel like it's going to be, you know, it might jolt my body if I make contact with the ground. I avoid it sometimes. But we've got to make contact with the ground in order for the sweet spot of the club to meet with the golf ball. And that's what we're going to try to do in this next drill. So you'll see I've just lined up some golf tees on the ground, and you can either just do one or you can do an entire row like I've done here. And I'm just going to go down, as a matter of fact, I'm going to flip this, the golf ball on the far side for me. I'm going to start with the tee nearest to me, and I might make a practice swing. Maybe I'm one of those players where I didn't quite hit the tee. That's okay. I'm just going to try it again, and I'm going to try and try again until I can hit the tee, have a little interaction with the ground. If I were on the driving range, I'd be disrupting the turf a little bit, just getting to the roots of the grass, not the top of the grass, okay? And it's just fine if you want to start with a smaller swing. That's fine as well. If you can't do it with a full swing at first, you can take more of a pitching length swing where it's about waist high to waist high, and you just hit that tee. And once you feel comfortable that you're able to make contact with that tee and make a little contact with the ground, it's just a nice little brush of the ground and finish. Now I'm combining the drills and I'm having success connecting with the tee. And while I'm in the rhythm and it feels good, I'll just move right down the row and hit the ball the same way, okay? And it's not super technical. One of my favorite things to get people thinking on the golf course is brush the ground and complete your swing. If you do both of those and we make contact on the center of the face, and you also do it trying to create a whoosh in front of the golf ball, you'll get your highest potential distance, okay? So I'd love to hear how it goes. Go give it a try. If we can be of any service to you, please feel free to reach out at any time. We'd love to help.